Good evening, everybody. We are going to continue by studying what are modal dialogues and how can we create them and use them for. Just to explain, a modal dialog is a window or a new form that is created from an already existing main or principal form. For instance, in this application, which is just a browser for some films we have in a database, I have here the title of the films, and if I double click them, a new modal dialog appears, or a new window appears and shows extra or advanced information, detailed information about this film I have selected here. Why is it modal? Why we call it modal? This is because it blocks the main window or the window it's been created or called for. And until we don't close this form, this dialog, we can't do any other operations in this principal or main form, as you can see. Okay, so let's see how to create our modal dialogs from our application. To start with, we create a new Windows Forms application as usual, .NET Framework, remember, and we're going to see modal. We're going to call it modal dialog application. Let's create it, and by default, our projects are created with only one form, only a main form. That, by the way, I like to rename them, not form 1, form 2, and call them like the main form. And also, let's change the property, the text property, to call it to show it like the main form. And but this is not the only form we can use in our applications. As we have seen, we can create new forms from this one and show extra information. To do that, we first have to go to the Solution Explorer, right click and add a new form. A form is a class, as in object-oriented programming, everything is. It comes from a class, and every new form we create is going to be an object instantiated from this class. I'm going to call it details form, because it's going to be showing details. And as you see here, we have a new form where I can put all the other controls I can use in every form as usual. If I just see the code of the main form, like clicking Fset, yes, the main form, it's here and the code is here. If you see, it's a class, like any other class, yeah. And in the details form, if I press F7, the same class deriving from the same base class also, it is inheritance. So there's no difference between a main form, yes, and a details form or a dialog form. The only difference is the way we call or we instantiate this new class, this new window from the main form. Let's just use a button. When I click this button, I'm going to show, okay, an instance of these ones, okay. I'm going to put a label here just to, no, this is a checkbox, just to distinguish them. I will do the label non-auto size, so auto size false, and I will just change, yes. So now we are ready to go. Let's see how to load or create or instantiate this form from this new form when I click button 1. That, by the way, I'm going to say create new dialog. Yes, and I'm gonna call it create new dialog. Yep. So let's enter this within the form, and okay. All right. Now we are here in our source code, in the main form CS source code, in the event handler for the click event of the button. And okay, how do I create a new object from this class? As in every other class I instantiate objects, I have to first say the type. Okay, details form. You see, this is a type, this is a class as any other class, and I say the name for the variable. And remember, always when I want to instantiate new objects, I have to use the new operator and call the default constructor. Yes. All right. Here now I have an object of this class of details form, but what I will have to do next is to show this form. And I'm going to show it as a dialog. This is what is the difference between only show and show dialog. This is showing this form as a modal window or as a dialog. What it is. Let's try and see it works. Yep, we have our main form here. And if I click create new dialog, okay, we have our new dialog. The details form instance of this object is this one. And this is locked. This is locked. In fact, the code in this class is locked in this line here. It will not continue until I close this window. The code is now in this side of the application. Yeah. See, if I click now, I can move the window and I can create a different one, a new one, a dialog one again. Good. Is it okay? Now, one of the things I want to do between these two forms is to pass data between both of them. We're going to see now how to pass data from the main form to the details form and show it in the details form when it is created. The most direct way to do it is, as this is a class, okay, it's got a constructor, and as you see, we can override the constructor of every class and get here a parameter like string param1 or string message. We're going to pass a message from the main form, okay, when it creates to the details form when this is created, and show it in a component that we are going to add. For instance, a multi-line text box in here. Let's do it multi-line, and let's do it read only 2. Yep. And we will append text here. So I have this new constructor, but that, by the way, I have to also never forget to initialize all the components of the form. But then text box 1 dot text, or later append text message plus dot new line. Whoa, sorry. Good. Okay. And then what modification do I have to do here to show this, to pass a message from here to here? Just I have to create the new class, the new details form, with this constructor, okay, that accepts a message. So if I do this, like hello dialog window, we will see what happens. Okay, I have my main form, I create a new dialog, and now, yes, I am passing a message from here. When I create this window, I am passing some argument, some parameters with data. So I can show this data in this window here. And as an argument, I can use whatever I want. I am not restricted to string or basic types. I can use a objects or list of objects or whatever type of I want. For instance, let's create a new class, modeling a person. Just that. Make it public, remember always, and a couple of properties. Yep, this is gonna be our persons. Let's create here, okay, some components. Yes, so what we're trying to do is to create a person object with the data from these text boxes that I'm going to rename text box. And well, when I click the new dialog now, I have to first of all build a person model person object equals new person model, and let's gonna use the object initialization. So it's gonna be first name equals text box dot text. Sorry, in this kind of initialization we have to use commas, but I have to int parse. Okay, to do it as an int now, and I want now to a constructor in my details form that accepts like persons. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to be giving you this person. For that, we have to modify our class, our details form class, and add a new CTOR. All right, again, remember to call the initialize component. And now here, I will say, okay, but now I want a person model, okay, person, yep, person data. I can use whatever name, and I can show the in my text box box one dot append text my. Yep, so we are receiving a person model, not just a string, but a person model, and we are showing it. We can do work with this in whatever way we want, as we do with whatever other kind of object or data type. Let's try. Okay, Mike Garcia 42. So I create an object, and this object is received here and is shown in this way. I could pass a whole list. Okay, usually what we do is from here we read from a database, as the application in we saw at the beginning of the video, a list of persons or a list of items I have in a database. I have in a query from a database as a result, and one detail, show the detail of the one I select here, show the details in this dialog form, which is what we are trying to do. And if you see this message, this is saying it returns, show dialog method returns a dialog result. And a dialog result is one of these. If known, okay, cancel, abort, retry, no, yes, no, okay. I could create like okay and cancel. Okay. Maybe I made some modifications in the data in here, and I just want that modifications to be saved or to be confirmed or committed if I click OK. But if I click cancel, I don't want that modifications to be committed. So how can we give that information to our parent window or our main window using buttons like this? First thing we have to do is say these buttons are gonna be dialog result buttons, and for that they have a property. If you just come here and you see, okay, in the OK button, in behavior they have a property, is like the dialog result property, and I can choose here if they are gonna, okay, see if they are gonna be a special button, kind of button, which is gonna be a OK dialog result button. That means this is gonna close this form, and it's gonna return, and it's gonna close this form returning a value, which is gonna be the value dialog result dot OK. The same for cancel button. For the cancel button, we're gonna say it is OK dialog result. It's gonna close the form, and it's gonna be a cancel button. Yes. So it's gonna be different if I close the form with this button or with this button. If I close it from the OK button, this is gonna return to the main form, to the caller, an OK message. And if I close it from the cancel button, it's gonna return a cancel message. Okay. So how are we gonna get this value it's going to return? It's easy. This is the method we are calling, and this is the method it's returning the result. Yeah. So if I put this in an if, yes, in fact, if I say var result equals details form show dialog, when this closes, this is gonna put in here, you see, what is the var? It's a dialog result. Yeah, it's a dialog result variable type, dialog result. That's better. So, and this dialog result we have seen, it's one of these values is an enum with one of these values. Okay, known, okay, cancel, or from 0 to 7. So what I can do is like say if here to detect if it's been if it has exited or been closed with the OK or with the cancel. So it's just to check the result. If equals dialog result dot OK, yeah, it's the same like saying equals 1, but we use the enum for it to make it more readable. Then we will say a message, or well, let's write a console message, okay, and else if. Remember, it can be more than these two values. So we have to create an if or else if result. We have always to check. So it doesn't matter if we can't use only an else, because if it doesn't returns OK, it doesn't mean it's gonna return a cancel, because it could return any other thing, known or a no or a yes or an ignore or a retry, some of the other messages. So I have to check especially result if it's a dialog result dot cancel, which is the ones we are returning. Okay, this is sorry. like this. Okay, else any other thing. Yeah. Let's check it if it works. Let's check if it works as we are saying. So we are going to start the application. Let's see the output in here in my command, and not the call stock, the output. Yeah, so let's try to create a new dialog. We're showing this, and now we can come back from here, or from here. Let's just say the OK. Yeah, and it's appearing in the output window in the console. This is what's been happening. So it's good. It's been closed. It's been okay. It's been just goes from this line and writes the result has been okay. If I now call it again, create a new one, even with the same data, this is a new one. This is not the same object as before. But if I click cancel, now it's a cancel. So I think that's all for this lesson. As always, if you are in doubt, just post in the forums or ask or just contact me as ever you want. Thank you, like the video, and have a nice evening.